I'm here. Today we ask, is karma real? Is karma real? There's starting to be a lot of discussion on the internet about this because you know people on the internet, they follow people if they sound good. Sorry about that. My neighbor's motorcycle. I swear to God, if I ever see that nigga fall again, I will not help him again. Nigga, he be annoying. Why do black men with Hardys gotta drive so goddamn loud? Jesus. You see a black man in a Harley, that nigga playing Cameo. Over there, what's up, young blood? What up, young blood? How's it going, young blood? Yeah, make sure you go ahead and drink yourself some. Make sure you go ahead as a young man. If I knew at your age, go ahead and drink that prune juice to keep you regular. You know, young blood. Now let me get back on this Harley. And if you don't get your ass out of here, Ernest. God damn. All right. So, we talking about this. Charleston White, famed online voice, I'm going to say, has been going around lately saying that karma ain't real. He don't believe in karma. And I'm going to start off by saying he makes some valid points. He made some damn good valid points talking about karma. Like, I can tell he done thought about this. This ain't him, pulling something out of his ass. And me personally, even though I disagree, even when I disagree with people, when I see that they're coming from a point of view of at least they done thought it out, I respect it. Even if I don't agree. We are doing this show today, old school style. No, I am not coming on camera. Ooh, shit, these allergies. Got a situation going on my eye, and I am not about to get on camera. I ain't about to. I am, yeah, nah. I'm over here. I'm not quite looking like Gina on that Ricky Fontaine episode of Martin. I ain't quite looking like that. But yeah, you ever have a sty in your eye? Oh my God, this shit's horrible. This shit's horrible. Itchy like a motherfucker. I went down to the doctor to make sure it wasn't no goddamn pink eye. They said it wasn't that. I was like, cool. But this sty thing is annoying as fuck. God damn. Anyway, we about to talk about it. We are about to talk about it. Gotta handle some business over here. Go ahead and donate. Hit the Cash App right now. $ Dewan Brown. $ Dewan Brown. Hold on one second. Okay, so all right, yeah, handling some business on my documentary at the same time. Right when I was kind of trying to wait until I got this call, but I just got the call now. The reason why I pushed it back from 3 to 3:30 was hoping I'd get this call, and as soon as I went live with y'all, I'd get the call. But yeah, I got to get some footage sent over because we working hard on the documentary right now. It's bigger than Hip Hop, the Black American Music Family Tree. We are working hard on that right now. The next installment. Well, anyway, so what's up, ISP? What's up, Quan? What's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, everybody in the chat? I'm back here, and no, I am not getting on camera right now. Not today. Anyway, is karma real? So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna play some snippets of some things Charleston White said. Like I said, he made, at least he has his point of view. I respect anybody that has an original point of view that they've thought out. Doesn't matter if I agree or not. Sometimes we got to move our egos to the side. People like I hate when that shit happens. I'll say some shit, and then it'll be some weird ass nigga in the comments just write, "I disagree," and that's all they write. I'm like, so? Hey fellas, you niggas that be going around in the comments just saying, "I disagree," and that's all you say? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Did you niggas have fathers in the home? Don't no grown ass goddamn man. What? Now if you disagree, like, hey man, I respect your opinion, and I feel this way or I feel that way. That's one thing. I'm cool with that. And because everybody ain't gonna always agree on things, and as men, you should always be able to talk things out. But when you go around just saying, "Oh, I disagree," so, and fuck you, by the way. Niggas is weird. I disagree. Well, we both disagree on what a real nigga is. I don't think you a real nigga, and you think you a real nigga, so I disagree with that. So yeah, we both gonna disagree about something, nigga. We both disagree on what a real nigga is, and you don't fit the mold, homeboy. Anyway, she said they bored. Arnetta made the beginning of the show one day. What up, Famously Blacker? Yeah, oh shit, I'm over here. Okay, yeah, so let's go into this part about what Charleston White said. I'm gonna play the snippet, and we're gonna play a couple snippets of what he said, and we're going to get into what he's saying about karma, and then from there, we're gonna read Charleston White's cards. Okay, but I'm gonna do today's card reading session a little bit different. I'm gonna do a little bit different. Usually I read the birthday. And when I search Charleston White's birthday, there were some discrepancies. I think his birthday is May 17th, but I wasn't quite sure enough. So I said, you know what? I haven't read someone's name for you guys in a while. So today, we're going to read Charleston White through his name, through the name Charleston White. And the reason why I'm going to read it through his name also is because, like he always says, he's playing a character. So, and the character's name is Charleston White. You can read people two ways. You can read their birthday, and you can also read their name. And every name has a card assigned to it, based on the addition and based on the numbers of each letter in your name. I determine your card, and then from there, I can get a deep insight into who you are, both your sun side and also your shadow side. So we're gonna read Charleston White through his name today. All right, so let's get into it. This is right here the video I speak of. Let me go right here. Browser share. So this is the video that I speak of right here, okay? And on this, okay. No, I don't want to go do that yet. This is on Say Cheese TV. Brother has a dope interview show. I like, he asks good questions. So it's a dope show. Let me go ahead and play that speed back up. So this is the interview that I'm speaking on. All right. Let me go back to where I need to be, and then we're going to talk about when he's talking about karma, and we're going to address what he's saying about karma. Okay. So let me go ahead. That's where we at with it. You dig? Okay, so now let me go ahead and put this picture up. So you know where we at. You can find the video. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the video in the chat right now. In the chat room, you just saw bam. So if you're watching on YouTube, you just got the link to the video. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. If you're watching on Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, welcome across. Oh shit, we already got over 300 people here across platforms. So since y'all up in here, hit that Cash App, $DeWan Brown. So here we go. Let's go into what Charleston White's talking about. He's talking about karma.
You're supposed to talk about the dead. And then show me where karma is real. Where karma go get you for talking about the dead. I'm still waiting for white people to get their karma for slavery. Slavery lasted 400 years. How long we been out of slavery? And white folks still ain't got their karma.
I want to stop right there. He brings up a really good point. And I've heard a lot of people use this point over the years. If karma exists, this is a very general talking point when it comes to karma. But I can't get mad at the talking point because it's a great goddamn question. If karma exists, why ain't white folks got their karma? Let me address that real quick. See, karma and life, things happen on levels. Micro levels and macro levels. The law of correspondence, as above, so below. These are laws of nature. Economics, microeconomics, macroeconomics. You have micro politics and macro politics. There's a micro and a macro to all things in life. And that's the basic micro and macro. There are also levels in between too. All right? There's day-to-day weather, and then there's climate. In a time that the planet is warming up, you still have extremely cold winters, and you still have snowfall, regardless of the planet over an extended amount of time warming up, okay? So karma works like that too, individually and also over time. Me personally, when I talk about karma, I'm not one to judge people's karma because you don't know what it is. Karma is something that's relative to you and your experience and how you play your cards and your expectations. The things that you stand for within your parameters. You did? There's no one size, one shoe fits all to karma. That is why people can say things and get away with it, and it looks like nothing's being done. But at the same time, when karma does hit people, it's not like you gonna know. You ain't gonna see it. Karma's gonna hit somebody, or you may see it. But karma's gonna be relative to the person that is hitting. It's going to be relative to to the person that it's hitting. Some people are rich, but don't give a fuck about their money. They care more about their prestige, or they care more about or whatever. What you think somebody values isn't necessarily what the next person values. That's why I don't judge karma, because just because I can look at somebody on TV, or I can see somebody down the hall and think the representative that I see, because that's all we see from other people is their representative. We don't see who people are unless you come to me for a car reading. I see who you are real quick. Outside of the cards, you don't see who the fuck people are. You see their representative. So what you think a person value ain't what they value. Just because you see something that's valuable on somebody else, don't mean they see what's valuable on somebody else, on themselves, or they may see a different aspect. And when karma hits that person, it's going to hit them where they see it, not where you see it. You dig? But let's go into why haven't white folks got their karma. Look, you got to know some history. Empires rise and fall like the ebbs and tides of the sea. Hold on, let me get my preacher music on before we get going. Let me get my preacher music going. See, when it comes down to it, civilizations rise and fall. Every civilization known to man, whether it be at one time in the Italy area, there was an empire called the Etruscans. The Etruscans was a long-standing empire in what we now know as Italy. They had written language, art, pottery, high science, high civilization. Etruscan society was the toast of the world. Oregon society, I said Oregon society, Etruscan society was on the top of the planet. You couldn't do better than Etruscan society at one point in time. But like all times, like all things, times change. These are the Etruscans. These are pottery of the Etruscans. They dominated that region. And then the time came. And these great, 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 great people ended up getting sacked by what will become the Holy Roman Empire. And then the Holy Roman Empire stood on top for a long time. They dominated that region. Got all the way to England at one point. All the way to England. And then their time came. And when it was their time, the Vandals and Visigoths came and sacked the Holy Roman Empire. White on white crime at its most violent. The Vandals and Visigoths came. The Greeks had their time. Hannibal Barca and had his time. White America at this time, this is their time. This is their time. Does karma even operate monolithically? No, it does not. So white society, what we call white society, Mr. Charleston White. Someone asked, what's the topic? We're talking about Charleston White. Is karma real? Thank you for asking that question, because I'm going to go ahead and put up that right here. I want to put that down here in the bottom line. Is karma real? So y'all know what the question is. I'm going to type that in here. Is karma real? So that's the question. So we asked that What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I was talking about societies. So in America right now, black societies, black society, you have to understand what the last 1,500 years, or at least have somewhat of a loose understanding of the last 1,500 years to really know what we as black Americans are dealing with today. Or if you can't go back the last 1,500 years, at least know the significance of Christopher Columbus in the year 1492. And you got to understand that in Europe, from 711 to 1492, occupied this force named the Moors. And the Moors, that's when they were at the height of civilization within Europe. Europeans, current day Caucasians, tend to tell half truths. And what they gonna do is they gonna tell you that the Moors only were in the south of Spain and somewhat in the Mediterranean region. What they don't like to tell you is no, they were all through Europe. Germany, Russia, Norway, Finland, England. And the evidence are these castles. I'm doing this respectfully to Charleston White. I'm not here to disrespect that man. And I understand why he has his point of view. But what I'm here to do right now is to bring a broader perspective to what karma is. And when it comes to racial karma, when he says the question, why haven't white folks gotten their karma? Okay, we got to go back. I'm gonna slow walk this. I ain't the one I want. I want this one. When black folks were in Europe, the Moors, they're building castles like this. Castles like the Alhambra. Let me look at the Alhambra. Castles like the Spain, like the Spain, like the Alhambra. I'm gonna put a picture of the Alhambra up right here. Not what you're saying. Here we go. This is the Alhambra. This is what black folks were building in Europe 1,000 years ago. Okay? And you see these castles all across Europe. You see castles like that in Spain. You see castles like this in England. This in England. You know, you see castles like this. Let me go. Castles in Germany. This was when black people were ruling Europe. Okay? Mr. White? The castles in Germany. This is when we were ruling Europe. We were building things like this. You may ask me, okay, what does this got to do with karma? Well, during this time, while we were ruling Europe, we were doing all kind of great shit, like building these castles, but we were also doing a lot of fuck shit too. You dig what I'm saying? We were doing a lot of fuck shit too. You had the Phoenix Moors enlightening and educating and building great grand structures like this. And you had the Dragon Moors who was just going around fucking everything that they saw. Kidnapping and taking the white girls for their own pleasure. You know, going around on their horses, just slapping the Caucasian peasants of Europe. Because during this time, your nobility of Europe they're all swarthy complected. And we're dealing with swarthy complected nobility all the way through 600 years ago, 500 years ago. We're dealing with swarthy, complected nobility and kingship and leadership. And by all accounts, all you have to do is read any history of the Middle Ages to know that the leadership during that time was not right to the people. And all the people weren't white. England was metropolitan back then, France, Ireland, Germany. These were all metropolitan places. They were never all the way black, all the way white, never. Matter of fact, they didn't really kick out all the dark-skinned Germans until the 1890s. Go look that up, brothers and sisters. Russia and Germany still had a fuck ton of dark-skinned people until the late 1800s, just before World War I. Up until the years leading up to World War I, Germany, these places, Russia, Poland, you're still dealing with a metropolitan society, white and black. But during the last few hundred years of Moorish reign of Europe, the nobility wasn't right to the people. They had caste systems, serfs, peasants, and they were building these grand, lavish temples and castles and places for themselves, while the people of Europe were starving. So there was a revolt. And that revolt could be signified. There wasn't just one revolt. There were hundreds and thousands of revolts over a few hundred years, starting with the Crusades with Charlemagne the Conqueror, the punk that Charlemagne the God named himself after. In Christendom, European Caucasian people. This is a history lesson to you, for you, Mr. White, and people who think we're talking about karma. Is karma real? And why haven't white people gotten their karma? We're talking about this. We're taking a step back, because most of you niggas don't know history before Martin Luther King, and you barely know that. We're taking it back way before Martin Luther King existed. Matter of fact, we're taking this back to Martin Luther, God damn it, the person that Martin Luther King was named after. We're going back before Martin Luther, okay? And the Lutheran Church. Going back to Martin Luther. So, during this time, a lot of your black nobility was not doing right by the people. And you can signify the overthrow. The biggest signifier of the overthrow of the black Moors being run out of Spain is the running of the bulls in Spain. The bulls represent the Moors. Okay? And when the Moors were run out, Thanksgiving Day 1491, I'm sorry, they were beheaded and murdered and run over during that time, okay? It happened that way because I'm not going to be one of those black historians saying that we did everything right in history. Sometimes you listen to black history and say that, look at all these, and we did do a lot of great things. But we was fucked up too, okay? And so, in a lot of ways, what we're dealing with right now is a karma or a consequence for our rulership as a people over the peoples of Europe. Go read Ancient and Modern Britons. Go read Dr. Clyde Winter's work. A lot of your expulsion of the Moors, they came to the Americas, both the Caribbean and the United States of America. Okay? And there's a long epigenetic history in the DNA of what we call white people of downright dictatorship style rulership over their ancestors 500, 1,000 years ago. So just like here in America, in the Americas, we ruled these lands, the Algonquin tribes of the upper Northeast, the Mississippian tribes of the South, and all of the tribes, the Plain tribes to the West. But the Americas were in constant states of warfare, fighting each other. The Red Indian versus the Dark Indian. The Dark Indian tribes fighting one another. When the European came, they were able to play on schisms between tribes of Native Americans that already existed. Just like those in American Indians, just like those tribes had their time on the top and Caucasians of Europe had their time on the bottom, the Caucasians of Europe the last 500 years have had their time to rule. It just is what it is. I read cards. I know history. I don't know why, nigga. I don't know why this is their time, but it's their time. Everybody gets a time. The Indians had a time to rule the planet. The people of India, the East Indians, the people of Chinese descent had a time to rule the planet. The Mongolian tribes of Genghis Khan, they've had times to rule the planet. The African tribes, the South Americans, the Incas, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Mayans, everybody gets their time. So that's a long point, a long way of me saying that when it comes down to, for the people who say is karma real and why haven't white folks gotten their karma? Well, have you ever thought maybe we have a certain karma that we had to live out based on how our leadership was ruling this planet before? Think about it, black folks. Black people of swarthy skin have been ruling the planet for what, 98, 99% of this planet's existence? God damn, everybody rises and falls. If the Greeks can fall, so can we. If the 18th dynasty could fall, so could we. Everybody rises and falls. The pendulum swings. Okay? And whatever groups of people did when they were in leadership and rulership is the extent of the karma that they suffer. Same way on the micro level with us as individuals. When it comes to your good and bad karma, what you sow, you reap. And then sometimes shit just happens. You can sow your plants. A farmer will tell you that. The farmer can sow their seeds, give it the right amount of water, give it the right amount of sunshine. But then, God damn it, if something don't happen, sometimes the motherfucking mosquitoes or wasps or whatever insects eat your plants. Or you have a freeze out and the weather flips for a week and it freezes your crops and kills them off. Just because you have random things that happen, those aren't always necessarily tied to karma. All of these things exist on multiple levels. So if you get to the point to where you're trying to see things on a linear level, you're going to miss the whole thing. You have to be able to take a step back and see things. And then while you're seeing things, you're understanding that you're only seeing a small percentage of the light spectrum. We only seeing 3 to 5% of what's going on. And the same with hearing. We don't hear most sounds that exist, and we don't see most colors that exist. Okay? And then what we do see, we only see it from a perspective. Stories are 360 degrees. We only see a perspective of 360. Like I said before, that's why the NBA has 3 referees. Depending on where your perspective, depending on where you're standing, it may or may not have been a foul. Let's go a little further. Go to the 11-minute mark. Let me see. It say 11-minute mark. Let me go to the 11-minute mark. Hold on 1 second.
Well, why is YMW Melly still alive? If energy and karma is real, then let me see. Do you get energy and karma for words or for actions?
Actions.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Here, see what just happened right there? Do you get energy and karma for actions or words? That's not an either or question. You get karma and energy from actions and words. See, energy is a scientific fact. You can't dispute energy. Nobody knows where energy starts. Nobody knows where energy ends. But we all know it exists. And it doesn't disappear. And what you give energy, you energize. For instance, Charleston tends to give energy to rappers and people that claim to be violent. That's the energy Charleston tends to give. He gives a lot of energy to people who are lowbrow. In return, Charleston tends to find himself in constant disputes. He's on stage, someone ready to jump on stage, and he got to throw a flower pot at him. Y'all remember that incident with Charleston White? He had the incident where he was sitting in the barbershop chair asleep, and somebody mixed him up. You see how NSC work, my brother? The energy and the degenerates you give energy to are coming into your world, disturbing your peace. I've been getting on stage 10 plus years. I ain't never had nobody get on stage and try to challenge me. And I say some shit on stage. I promise you, I say some shit on stage. I'm right here in LA, and I tell jokes about the Woonty Wham Boonty Bam community. Shit that I'll never say online, I say on stage in front of people in their neighborhoods. I'll be right there. Because if it's funny, it's funny. You can say anything. But it comes down to the energy you give. If you're saying what you say with a certain level of energy, you ain't got to worry about nobody coming and wanting to disrupt your show. But when your energy says certain things, Brother White, you go through certain things. And we've publicly seen you. You have to hit that man with the meat poker, whether that incident was real or not, it's still confusion. So energy is most definitely real. Later on in the show, in this interview, he said, "Does he get energy?" He makes a good point. Well, let me play a little longer. Let me play a little longer. Now I'm gonna get to this point.
Come on now, my son don't rap gangster. My son is not a criminal. My son is not a popular, well-known rapper walking around with jewelry. My son is unrecognizable to the world. What energy gonna come for him?
Nothing. You said, like, he really, if y'all notice, he just answered his own question. What he was saying was, like, because he's talking about Wallow and Gilly and why he said that about one of them two sons died, and rest in peace to that brother's son. I don't get into that, but he's basically saying that he's talking about karma and energy while telling you karma and energy don't exist. He was talking about that man's son because he said that man's son was a gangster and he got what gangsters get. And now he's comparing his son and saying that his son don't do that stuff, so what energy is going to come his way? Well, not that kind of energy. Now, whatever energy your son is creating on his own, that energy will come his way. But it's not going to come from the angle and the point of view you looking for it from, because you're not living that young man's life. He's living his own.
Because his dad said, hey, let me tease this nigga who can't call his son. So if karma and energy is real, what about all the good karma that I'm supposed to get for working with the kids? Why don't nobody ever say, hey, man, you got some good energy coming? You never heard people say that.
My question with Charleston White was, what kind of niggas you be around? You got to be around a whole bunch of negative ninnies if you don't hear nobody talking about good energy and good karma. Cause I tell you this, my years working with kids, I used to always people used to tell me all the goddamn time, man, DeJuan, you got a lot of good energy coming your way. I used to hear that shit all the goddamn time when I worked with kids. I still hear it from people. From my years I did work with kids. But you don't work for kids. You don't work with kids for good karma. See, if the reason you're doing something, if your angle with working with kids is to receive good karma, then will you? Is that what you're really putting out? What did those kids get out of you if you only did it for the karma? Because I used to work in that field working with kids. And trust me, a lot of people only did that shit because that's the only way they can make money. Let's just tell the goddamn truth. Most of the people who work with kids, those are very low-paying jobs, but their jobs are plenty. You can get in working in those kind of jobs. You know it because for those of us who did it genuinely, 8 out of 10 people your coworkers you work with are not in there for any positive reasons other than this is the only fucking job they can get. So you can't go around talking about something, hey, where's my good karma? I spent time working with these kids. If the whole time you work with those kids, you had ulterior motives. And who's to say you don't have good karma? I think Charleston White has pretty good goddamn karma. Look at him. He's very famous on the internet. He's internet famous. And whenever Charleston White is in hot trouble, what does he have to fall back on? I work with these kids. Every story when he had the back and forth with Boosie, he always comes back to, well, I got these kids. And that's been for a long time. That's what attracted a lot of people to Mr. White. that's what attracted like some of, when I first started listening to what he had to say. Oh, I can listen to him because he does have a perspective rooted in working on the grassroots. That's what makes your voice so powerful. So, in a lot of ways, you're definitely receiving good karma from working with kids because if if that energy of working with children didn't support you, you wouldn't mention it every single time your back's against the wall. See, I know my years working with kids put a lot of good energy in me and a lot of good karma out there for me. So I embrace it. I remember back then, no matter how broke I would be back in them days working with kids, my needs was always met. And with things, and it's not always about money. Because I still experienced great karma when I would get money that had nothing goddamn to do with them kids. Hell, the good money I made had nothing to do with them fucking kids. But the fact that I could walk around the city of LA and I get nothing but love here. I walk into the store sometimes and I'll see a mom of a child I used to work with 10, 15 years ago. And the joy and smile on her face and the thank yous. Man, that's some good ass energy. I feel that. I don't know about you. I feel that energy, Brother White. Like working with kids when I went across, even the ones that didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out. You know what I mean? I feel that love and good energy. I feel it. You work with kids, and if you did it from a good, positive place, and especially if you still live in your home city you did it in, I still live in my city. I didn't move. So I still run across old clients all the time. Same when I worked at the bank. My job working when I was in college, I worked at the bank. And anytime I'm in Inglewood, if I'm at that Costco in Inglewood, and I stopped working at that bank damn near 20 years ago. And for a lot of my older customers who are still alive now, a lot of them are now dead and gone. They passed away due to age. But I went to a shindig last summer. It was a concert. It was like a little concert in Inglewood outside. And like it was a dope ass concert. Like Michelle performed. And when I was there, I ran across 3 former banking clients, customers of mine. When one lady, I refinanced her house in 2002, and she was older. You know, back when I did it, she was working, and when I saw her last summer, she was retired, and just that energy I felt from that lady. See, I got good karma because I took care of these people when I worked at the bank. I saw another man, one of my old clients at the bank. He was retired too, and I remember he worked at the airport. And I saw like 3 former clients of mine, and they was in Inglewood to see Michelle and Switch. And man, you can't tell me I don't have no good karma from how I treated those people. You can't tell me. But that's what happens when you do it for the right reasons. But from what I see, Brother White, you get good karma. Because I know that's one thing that helped me listen to him. Like when he's, because they do. Sometimes, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Sometimes they do Charleston White wrong. You'll listen to him, a snippet of what he says, and you be like, yo, what the fuck? And then you'll listen to the whole clip of what he says, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense. So it took me years to listen to a full Charleston White interview. And I gotta thank Say Cheese. I think Say Cheese TV is the first full length one that I listened to from him. But what got me to listen to a full length Charleston White interview to begin with was the fact that I know that he used to work with kids. So I was like, okay, let me at least give this dude a longer listen, because the equity of him working with kids went far. for me. So you better acknowledge, brother. Well, I don't want to say better. I can't tell that nigga what to do. Shit. Who the fuck am I? My recommendation to the people out there listening, acknowledge the good and the bad. And the bad, because we definitely acknowledge the bad. When something bad go wrong, we are real good at acknowledging that. But when the good happens, acknowledge that too. Acknowledge that too. And see that for what it is. Everybody, we got everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you listen to, hit the share button, hit the retweet button, and go to DewanB.com. That's what I'm gonna need y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to go to DewanB.com and sign up if you're not on the inner circle already. I'm gonna need y'all to sign up. For the inner circle. Give me your names and email addresses so you can say update to everything I have going on. You did? And go hit the GoFundMe because we are working hard on the documentary on my second installment right now. Go on to DewanB.com and hit the GoFundMe link, please. Also over here, breakthrough card. Because now we about to get to the card reading section of the show. Yeah. That's a good time. He said, Jesus said, Satan got good people and they help people. Like I said, yeah. Yeah, what he said about Pilar Sanders, I don't like that either. But yeah, we're about to get into reading Mr. White's cards. But you can go to breakthroughcards.com and you can book yourself a session right now. You can go ahead and hit book now. Book yourself a session. Relationship packages. Also, we have and this is by request. I have a couple relationship clients, but this is by request. By request, I have my memberships now. So for the Soulful Synergy, this is where we will meet twice a month to really get into your cards. Very intense. A 6-session package to get all the way through your cards. Your sun cards and your moon cards and your shadow cards. You dig? And that's by the band. A few of you have been asking me for more consistent work. And so we got that up there right now on breakthroughcards.com. And we got longer packages available also. All right? So let's get into it. Let's go into Mr. White's cards. And these cards are based on his name, not his birthday, okay? And it's funny too because the name Charleston White is a Jack of Clubs, and today happens to be a Jack of Clubs day, April 23rd. What you see here is his sun card on the left, his shadow cards on the right. Actually, let me just do it this way for right now. Let me do sun card for right now. So who was Charleston White? Let's talk about how karma works for Charleston White. Charleston White, the Jack of Clubs. The Jack of Clubs is the card that will say anything. So y'all got to know off top. The card of the Jack of Clubs is the card that will say it has the gift of gab. Boy, it has the gift of gab. It will say whatever it needs to say to get wherever it needs to get. He got that Saturn card of a Jack of Diamonds. That tells me that a Jack of Diamonds Saturn card What that means is he's somebody who, at his core, he is going to say whatever he needs to say to win an argument. He don't take things that serious. People who are looking at Charleston White, this is why like T.I. and Boosie and all them people lost when they went at Charleston White. You can't hurt him from the outside. Like, you can't hurt Charleston White with just saying a whole bunch of shit. He a Jack of Diamonds Saturn. Jack of Diamonds Saturn, you can't. Anybody who has a Jack of Diamonds in their Saturn position, they don't take themselves serious enough to take what you're saying serious enough, is what I'm trying to say. And the character known as Charleston White, and I say the character because he said himself that that's a character that he plays. The character Charleston White don't give a fuck. There's nothing none of you niggas can say that's going to make him feel any kind of way. Okay? See, his emotional sensitivity area is at 9 of hearts, but it's in Uranus. So that tells me that his sense, if you're going to say something that hurts Charleston White, it has to be centered around his creations and what he creates. With the 4 hearts Uranus, that tells me that, yeah, he's very sensitive about what he creates. So if you're going to go at him any way, you're going to have to go at his creations. He's somebody that, yeah, Charleston is a character. The King of Clubs in Jupiter, that's somebody who, his reward. The reason why, speaking about karma, there goes some karma right there for Charleston White. See, the King of Clubs is the bold speaker. And it's the orator. It's the teacher. And he has the King of Clubs in his Jupiter card position. Anybody, when you come to me for a reading, your Jupiter position is where your rewards are. That's where your blessings in life are. That's where your gifts and talents are. So he's using his talent to speak and speak truth to power. That's the biggest thing about the King of Clubs. When it does speak, the King of Clubs is at its best when it speaks truth to power. Steve Coakley, King of Clubs. DeJuan Browns, King of Clubs. You dig? Kendrick Lamar, King of Clubs. Malcolm X, King of Clubs. That's our sun card. But for him, it's his Jupiter card. So his blessings is when he steps into the role of the King of Clubs. The reason why that's hard, or I won't say hard, the reason why that's somewhat of a challenge for a Jack of Clubs personality, because a Jack of Clubs will say any fucking thing. It doesn't care. It doesn't have any morals. It'll say what the fuck it needs to say. And that's what Charleston does. You see what he says in his interview. He don't care. You piss him off. He don't have no rules. You damn right. The Jack of Clubs does not have rules when it speaks. But the King of Clubs does have rules when it speaks. So for Charleston, for him to access his blessings, is going to be to use his speech for something that's constructive, something that's speaking truth to power in some way, shape, or form. And that's what he's doing, and that's what he does. Agree with him or disagree. And I don't agree with most of what he does. I don't know a lot of what he does. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but removing my ego away from it, it's not about what I agree with. I do also still agree with other things, even though it's not about what I agree with. I still agree with him when he's talking about making it for the children. It's a lot that Charleston White says that I do agree with. But agree or disagree, fact is, he's using his voice to ruffle feathers and speak truth to power. Whether that be when he's talking about the rappers, when he's talking about the politicians, when he's talking about society, most of his speech is pointed in the direction of power. And that's where he got famous. And that's where his blessings came in. So in a lot of ways, Charleston White is living good karma because he is doing what his life path tells him he should be doing. And that's using his voice to speak truth to power. See, his karma comes in that cosmic lesson card, that Six of Clubs. If Charleston White's looking for his karma, he's going to see it and feel it when he lives out that Six of Clubs. But I don't think he's going to like what I'm going to say in order for him to get the karma. He'll get it, on a big level. The Six of Clubs is the mediator. It's the negotiator. It's the reasonable one. And he's a reasonable brother when he's not triggered. When you listen to him talk, when he's not triggered, he says reasonable things. But he's going to have to learn the compromise. That cosmic lesson, Six of Clubs, is a card of compromise. Sometimes you got to compromise your stance for the bigger picture. He has a hard stance on some things, but when he learns how to have his hard stance, but still show grace and compromise when need be, that's when he'll get the bigger rewards. So, as long as he's speaking, using his voice to somewhat speak truth to power, he'll be okay. You notice every time he steps outside of that is when he gets bopped upside the head. And he's gotten bopped in the head a few times. So if Charleston White wants to stay where he is, he better keep speaking truth to power. He better stay in there. So let's go into his shadow card. This is Charleston White's shadow card. This is the shadow to Charleston White. This is the other side, the dark side of Charleston White. Everybody has a light and the dark side. And with my comprehensive readings, you get a reading on both sides, your light side and your dark side. His shadow's a Queen of Clubs. No. Oh, yeah. My bad. Yeah. Jack Club quickly. Yeah. This is the right shadow card. See, the Queen of Clubs is the teacher that writes his own rules. So in certain ways, Charleston has leaned into his shadow because he does create his own rules. He lives by his own rules. And that's why I wouldn't argue with him on this whole karma conversation. If that's what he believes, if he truly in his heart believes that he's not going to get any karma for what he says, then he probably won't. Because that's his core belief. If his core belief is, hey, I can say the fuck I want to say, as long as I don't kill nobody, because he tells you his karma. He always says, I didn't steal nobody, I didn't kill nobody. So where he set his own karmic parameters was around actually doing things. And when he did kill somebody as a teenager, he spent time in jail. He paid for it. He lived out his karma. He killed somebody, or he wasn't part of it. He was with his friend who killed someone. And he got some time locked up. But like he says, he hasn't been breaking any laws since he's been an adult. So he hasn't been locked up. So his shadow side is a side that this is where the snitch side comes in. The Queen of Clubs can also be the quote unquote snitch card. The card, because the Queen of Clubs got to tell it's gonna tell it what it is. It's like it's gonna tell it. Sometimes it's gonna tell the hard truth, but at the same time, The Queen of Clubs don't like seeing things go past it unchecked. So if any card in the deck is going to go tell on somebody, it's going to be a goddamn Queen of Clubs. Yeah, he has a Saturn card of the Seven of Hearts. The Saturn card, Seven of Hearts, his shadow side, this is where Charleston likes pushing the boundaries. Is that Seven of Hearts Saturn card on his shadow. That's pushing. His dark side likes to push things out. He can't help it. For people saying that he shouldn't troll, shit, man, that brother would probably fall into a pit if he couldn't troll and talk shit. Trolling and pushing boundaries is part of his life path. Three of Diamonds, Mars, shit starting card. Dark side, shit starting. But the Ace of Spades and Jupiter, that's where you guys got to pay attention. Shows that also on his dark side to get rewards, Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades hides his true intentions. So the downside of the dark side of Charleston White is you don't know his intentions. It conceals he conceals his intentions behind the Ace of Spades. Concealed intentions. Doesn't mean what he's concealing is good or bad, but whatever it is he's concealing is dear to him. Very interesting cards for Charleston White, Jack of Clubs. And again, for those of you who do cardology, I did not use his birthday. I used his name. I read him by his name because for two reasons. One, I wasn't 100% sure the birthdays that they gave me online exist. Two, so I can show you I can read niggas who their names. And three, Charleston White is a character. He's always said that in his interviews. When he's on camera, he's playing a character. So we just read the character that he's playing. She said, your birthday's tomorrow. 4/24. Let me read that. I'll be nice. And I'll read. Let me see what your card is. What's 4/24? Well, today's a Jack of Clubs. That means tomorrow's a 10 of Clubs. If tomorrow's your birthday, write things down. You're super smart, highly analytical, highly judgmental at the same time. 10 of Clubs. Very good with producing and running things. Very creative, but can be pessimistic and overthinking. It's 10 of Clubs. Hopefully that helped. Now, I wish I could do some readings for y'all, but I'm tired as fuck, y'all. I ain't about to read. I gotta go pick up this goddamn prescription for this eye situation going on. God damn. But yeah, Charleston White, there is a such thing as karma. Karma's most definitely real. Let me go here. But it's not the way he's saying it to be. I'm going to this one last point before I get up out of here.
Saying I'm banned. How long y'all been saying karma go get me? It's been 5 years now. Nigga hit me sleep in the barbershop, nigga. I'm out on 2 felony bonds for that.
Damn.
I'm out on 2.
Listen to what he just said. I think he kind of answered his own question, but let's go.
How long y'all been saying I'm gonna get? How long y'all been saying I'm banned? How long y'all?
Oh shit! Let me get the image up so I don't get a strike. Hold on. Let me get the image up. Cause I don't want no strikes. Here we go.
Y'all been saying karma go get me. It's been 5 years now. Nigga hit me sleep in the barbershop, nigga. I'm out on 2 felony bonds for that.
He said, when is karma gonna hit me? And then turned around and said that he got woompty wamp, boomty bam while he was sleeping in the barbershop. Do y'all remember that video? Let's see if I can find it. He said, when am I gonna face karma? And here we go. Look at this. Let me speed it up. Hold on.
I get out the shroom, the bitch like.
That wasn't it. Was it here? Oh, here it is.
Look at this. Charleston get shot. Locked. Try to wait in, up it.
I can't. That's the aftermath. Well, anyway, I'm not about to spend all day looking for it. Anyway, he asked, where's the karma for him? And then turned around and talked about how he got hit. The only people that get hit while they're asleep in a barber chair are people who put out a lot of bad shit. Peaceful people who don't say a lot of things about other people don't get boop bop in the barbershop chair while they sleep. All right? But again, like I said, is karma real? Karma is most definitely real. But none of us can predict how it's going to come on the next person. We can't judge it. Quan said, oh, it's coming. Trust it, believe. Yeah, it's coming. So, and how it comes, what angle it comes from, how it affects you, or where, I won't know. Because I'm not here looking for your bad karma to come. I'm not sitting here with a clock saying, man, when is Charleston White's karma gonna come for all those bad? Now I'm sure there's a lot of you niggas out there who he pissed y'all off enough and y'all waiting for it to happen. But nah. Because when it comes your way, I probably won't even notice. Or the next person won't even notice. Or they may. Hell, look at Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams, and I'm not saying that's her karma or not. I don't know. But she spent a whole career doing people dirty and wrong. And you see the way she walking around here lately. So yeah, karma is not for you and me or the next person to judge. All right? Go to DewanB.com right now. All updates on all things DewanB. Add your name to the mailing list. All right? And remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Thank y'all again for listening. I'm out.